Okay, I am going to make a video about ChatGPT because I've been using it for a while now, and the last two or three, well, recently, within the past week or so, I've heard several media, whether it be a podcast, radio shows, whatever it may be, talking about ChatGPT and explaining the use of it for them in their arenas, their niches. Uh, and it was interesting to hear how it was interesting to hear where their level of use was in their field as compared to what I have seen the capabilities of ChatGPT's use is, and where it's been around for so long. I know that I'm interested in that kind of thing naturally, so I'm going to be looking in areas that is relevant. And it was just kind of interesting to think of the industries, the areas, the demographics of people who are getting the information. And I'm wondering like where that information is coming from. I would imagine LinkedIn is one you see a bunch of posts about AI and its use and how to write prompts. And I think it's starting to get more mainstream, like the YouTube videos that are starting to prompt that. I think we're starting to ramp up in that. So maybe that's it. But again, I'm interested in that kind of thing. So I've been looking at this for a while now. And that was just kind of a perspective examination, I guess. So I'm just going to go ahead and show a full out of what I use it for and some of the things that I found useful for it. I think you can go into using ChatGPT with a set of expectations. And I know when I went in initially, I had this set of expectations of all the things that ChatGPT and AI was going to be able to do for me. Like I've used different AI LLMs. I've settled on ChatGPT not because I think that it's the best one that I've ever used, but it's the one that I pay for a subscription for, and it's good enough for what I want it to do. There are things that it doesn't do, and I do pay for a subscription for Midjourney, for example. So I don't like the images that ChatGPT puts out. The style that it puts out is very I don't know. Maybe I'm just bored with it. I don't know because I've put together a lot. I make music, and so when I publish my music on YouTube and I make my album covers, I would use ChatGPT to generate the images for a large range of my collection. Uh, there's that would be my period of time, I guess, is the ChatGPT period of art cover, but. I don't like it now that I don't like the style. It's just not aesthetically pleasing to me. Versus Midjourney, where you can tell it what style you want to use, and I'll show you that like, maybe after. But there are limitations for ChatGPT, and finding those limitations and but not being discouraged by the limitations was something that I had to overcome. Because I got to a point where I was using it a lot, and then I'd start really testing it with coding type examples, and it wouldn't be giving me the right results. Or I have a real problem with Excel. I'm very good at using Excel, very comfortable with it. I've trained people on using Excel, and I know my way around it. So my expectations for ChatGPT to present something with Excel, presented a workbook or some code from Power Query or whatever it is, and its inability to produce a result that is helpful, that was discouraging. So I stepped away, but now I come back to it for the little things. So I think there's a technical side to ChatGPT, and there's a more relationship side. So the technical side, I say that, I mean, we can use ChatGPT to do Coding, for example, would be, I think, a technical side, or editing, or things that you're asking it to do tasks, generate a list or whatever it is. Whereas then there's the relationship side where you can use ChatGPT to communicate with people. You can have it create messaging. You can have it whatever you need it to do, and you can shape that however you want it to be shaped. And that comes in either of those cases. You need to know how to prompt it, and prompting is just giving it the message to do what you want it to do. And you can look online. You can see all kinds of prompting courses and prompting tips. At the end of the day, it boils down to be specific about what you want. The person who is able to delegate effectively is the person who is able to do well in writing a prompt for ChatGPT. So if you can talk to somebody and ask them to do something for you and they can follow instructions, you can write a prompt for ChatGPT and be effective in getting some things done. And the more you understand about whatever it is that you're talking about, you're working in ChatGPT with, the better off you are. So that kind of level sets everything. It's where we are right here on screen. We are at a blank screen, but on the left here you can see all of the old chats that I have going, and these chats are all pretty long. When I use it, I use it for a couple different things. I use it for personal. For a while I was using it as a journal, so I would once the voice ability came on, so you can on your phone, and I don't think you can't do it on the web, but you can get an add-on where you're able to do it on the web. I don't have that on this. I tried it once. I didn't really like it. But on the phone, you can interact with it, so you can have a conversation with it. And that's really cool. I was, for a while, walking around. I'd go out in my morning walk, and I would literally have a conversation with ChatGPT for up to an hour sometimes, to 2 hours sometimes. And those conversations would be, maybe I would just say what's on my mind. If I'm walking in the morning, I think I've talked about dreams before, and been able to have that conversation with the AI, who's responding and telling me what the things mean or whatever I'm asking it, and prompting different ideas as I have that conversation. I've written 2 or 3 books on here. Nothing that I've put forth to publish or anything, but it was more just to kind of play around with it. Actually, let's see. I'll pull one up. Now there's a search. All right, so Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel business. So I had an idea for a book that basically looks at business as or uses a Ferris wheel in a fair as a analogy or allegory for business. And I started off with an idea. If we go to the very top here, this must be. So this is a while. This must have cut off some of the older information. But anyway, I'm having this conversation. So right, and in doing that, you create a cycle that consistently has employment. So this is me talking to it. So this was my voice going into it. And then what's nice, you see the responses. So the response by ChatGPT, and then I'm continuing the conversation from whatever they said, and going on. So as that conversation goes, there we go. No problem at all. Let's start fresh. How would you like to begin outlining the content for the Ferris wheel of success? So, sorry, I'm just looking to see where I actually asked for it to. Okay, so here I say, this is what I do. I want to start with the introduction. So not a problem at all, let's start fresh. How would you like to begin outlining the content for the Ferris wheel of success, turning your business into a major attraction? So I used AI to come up with the title up here because I don't think I would have said that. Great choice, Ferris. Oh yeah, I asked for a list of titles up here. But anyway, so this is the introduction that came out based on the conversation that's up there. If I were to want to push forward with the book format, like if I wanted to go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to use this, I'm going to write a book out of it, I would take this and work with the prompt to improve it, make it longer. I feel like if I'm going to write an introduction for a book, if it's an introduction for a small whatever, that's one thing. But four paragraphs is probably not enough to make it a good introduction. So in this case, I'm going to use this as an example. ChatGPT has different models that you can go through. So I pay for my subscription. I think it's $25 a month, something like that right now. But with that subscription, I have the ability to use different models in here. So some support features and some don't. I can't switch to this model here because 01 preview, because it doesn't support images, and I have images in this chat along the way. When I first opened it up and showed you, there was a big image of the hot air balloons. It can't be in there anyway. And also this one. So, but ChatGPT 4.0 with Canvas is specifically for writing. So if we use this, what's going to happen is this should turn into like a text field. I don't know. I'm not sure if I have to select it, but let's see. So if I select this and then maybe resend this. Okay. So now it puts it into here, and this is an editable section here. So what I was saying before, maybe I'd want to make some touch-ups, and I can do that right here. So imagine yourself at a bustling fairground. The air is filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and the aroma of delicious food. All around you, attractions vie for attention, each one more colorful and enticing than the last. Let's say I don't like this. I can just delete it. And then move on. And if I wanted to say, add a paragraph in here, and this is the additional paragraph. And I can do that. And then I should be able to, we'll see what happens. I've never used this for this part, but I know it exists. I'll close that. Yeah. And then there's the additional paragraph. So this becomes part of the thing, and I can go back in there and edit it however I want to do that. You can show the changes. So this shows that I added this. There should be another one. Didn't I delete a line? Yeah, I'm surprised. Not surprised, I guess, but now we know. The history is not great on it. But we can copy all of this and then paste it and do whatever we need to do with it. But that's the 4.0, and that's a description of me again using ChatGPT to have a conversation and have it put out results. I mean, and this conversation goes on. Oh yeah, and then within it I actually added in. I think I went through the full book. I have to go back to. Well, I don't recommend switching back and forth. This is an example of why not. Because I can't see. Oh, wait, no, you know what? If I go back, there we go. I can go back. So, what happened, what I was worried about there was because I switched over to Canvas and then I lost all of this stuff here, and what I was saying, it's the introduction, and then I got the chapter 1 in there, chapter 2 in there, chapter 3. But I was able to switch back by hitting a button that was in there. But anyway, so there's using it to have that conversation. Then there's using it for, as somebody was saying on one of the podcasts, or yeah, on the podcast I was listening to, they organize it by using all of these channels here. So every conversation that I've had, whether it be my talking to or doing some image generation or whatever the case may be, each one is a different conversation. And sometimes I'll remember and come back to it. But most of the time, if I go in with an idea to do something in ChatGPT, it'll be generating a new one, because I'll usually stick with the project and just kind of run all the way through. And that's fine if you use channels and want to go ahead and do multiple ones. But you can see here, like, I've got client intake video here. So this is a conversation, and I bet you this is just a continue, like another conversation. If it opens. Client. Oh, that's highlighting both of them. So I don't know why there are two here. Perhaps it's a little bit glitchy. But my point is, there are, if you were to look through all of this, there are probably a couple instances where I'm asking the same question. Now, to my knowledge, why did I do that? I just did the clapping thing. To my knowledge, the memory, so you'll see in here every now and again, sure if you'll see it on one of these. Is that it? Well, you'll see every now and again there's a memory updated. So as I understand it, ChatGPT will, as you say certain things to it, it remembers what your preferences are, like things about you. So if I were to say, my birthday is my birthday, February 21st, go ahead and give me a gift if you like. ChatGPT will probably put something up that says memory updated. Or if I've already put it in there, I don't think it will do that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not positive on this. But in any case, not only will it save some things like in that individual chat, but some things that it'll update to memory it'll kind of keep with. So I've started new conversations. It'll mention things that I'm not mentioning in that conversation or in that chat. Or thread or whatever it's called, but in any case, it'll know it. So it'll say, my martial arts studio that I co-own is Mandala Sun Martial Arts. So it knows, it has information updated to its memory about Mandala Sun Martial Arts. It knows that I have ownership in this martial arts studio. So sometimes when I ask it about values or whatever, because a lot of the stuff that I have memory updated has to do with the values of the school or the studio and all that stuff, it'll bring that up. It'll say like, oh, well, as a martial arts school, Mandala Sun would appreciate this in this way, and you could do a class doing this. And it's not something that I asked for necessarily. It's not something that I asked for, but it'll bring that kind of stuff up sometimes. And it's in weird places sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's appropriate, sometimes it's not. It's never a bad thing that I'm upset about. So, but yes, you can have all of these, but more importantly, and what I think is something that most people should take advantage of if they're using it for their business or their own personal use, that they're going back to over and over again. So In my case, with Mandala Sun, where is... In my case with Mandala Sun, I was putting together a lot of material, whether that be marketing material, website design, copy of, whatever the case is, activity lists, schedules, and rather... All right, we're having some technical difficulties here. What's going on? I think they changed the outline, so there the layout. All of this stuff used to be over here yesterday. So if I go to my GPTs, I think you can see these are all GPTs that I created, and a GPT is basically just a little app. So consider it a I don't know, a profile on a social media page, but not. It's just a subset of a set. So these are ones that I've played with and like put together. So I made this one for fun, like generates and tracks unique ways to make $1 creatively and practically. I haven't put anything into it actually, but my thought process was to find just fun little ways to make $1, collecting coins and stuff. Web page builder. I put in information in there to drive the instruction of like generating a web page that goes over and over. But this Mandala Sun martial arts one is public, and if you you can go and find GPTs. Let's see. So again, this is change, so I'm not positive how to get there. Created by me. There used to be an Explore GPTs. And load more. Okay. So if we go to the Explore GPTs, you can see whatever ones there are. And what I use a lot actually is, it's Adobe Premiere. So I do video editing, and I have questions about video editing a lot as I'm working with the videos, and I use Adobe Premiere, so I'm just learning how to use it over the past year or so. So, and it's not a very intuitive program as far as controls go. And I haven't used any other video editing program except for like Canva type programs where it's all very drag and drop, very, I guess, simple. User-friendly. So I use this. I looked this GPT up, and it's specific to Adobe Premiere. So everything I ask it is going to be within the context, because whoever created this, Sharon Maxwell, you can see the creator there, because Sharon Maxwell put this together, and she created all with Adobe Premiere in line. So if I ask it questions, it is within that context by default, as opposed to priming ChatGPT every time. This has primed it for you. It's giving you the prompts, and you even have the option to put questions up that are relevant to trigger the conversation with the user. So I've lost icons. I don't know where they are, so I can take screenshots of something that I'm having a problem with and paste it in there, and it'll know what I'm looking for, as I ask it the question, and get me the right answers quickly, as opposed to me going onto Google and looking it up and all that stuff. So that's an example of how I use it. So the Mandala Sun GPT is, you should be able to find it on here actually. There it is, Mandala Sun Martial Arts, Portland, Maine. So also, I would say that if you don't know about this, then GPTs are not a popular medium right now. And I don't know if they will become a popular medium at all, but if you're interested in like putting yourself out there on another platform at the ground floor and getting comfortable with it, this might be a route to go, because you can create a GPT and have this as another way to interact with your community or people who don't know about you or just searching for things. Think of it as searching for, somebody comes onto here and is searching for martial arts. I went on there to search for Adobe and I found those. Actually, let's find out what happens if I search for martial arts. Because I typed in Mandala Sun. Let's see. Martial arts. So martial arts studio advisor would come up. Search the draft. All right, so you got a lot of martial arts on here already. Martial arts courts. More. And you've got, see how you got people doing specific things, martial arts imagery, martial arts management, martial arts tutor. All right, let's see martial arts tutor. Need study tips, explain this concept. All right. Explore AI tutor tool for personalized help. Get detailed explanations, interactive exercises, real-time support to enhance your learning experience and achieve. All right, let's see. Let's explain this concept. Explain this concept. All right, so this isn't great because we hit right off the bat. This one's, you'd think that it would have an answer lined up. So this wasn't put together great. So let's go to mine. All right, so let's see what happens if I do this. What is this week's class schedule? And let me put this in framework. You can see the description. An AI extension of Mandala Sun Martial Arts in Portland, Maine, created by Andre Davis. This GPT mirrors the school's focus on discipline, technique, and community, blending Andre's passion for martial arts with cutting-edge technology and creativity. All right, so I am going to just click on what is this week's class schedule. So our last example, it said, please give us a reference. Let's hope that mine does not do that. Boom. Now it says this week's class schedule isn't directly outlined in the files. However, if you're looking for specific details on programs such as adult martial arts kids program or wellness network workshops, here are some available options. And so these are all things that are in or relevant to Mandala Sun martial arts. And I didn't say anything in that prompt. And if you were coming in here, you wouldn't know any of that stuff if you're, looking for information about us. But you can just click that button and that information shows up. I would want to adjust. Again, this is a prototype, so I would want to adjust mine to include this week's schedule. And part of probably my process would be is uploading a weekly schedule. So if we think about the processes that we do now and delegation of work or whatever to other people, if that's something that you're able to do. I do not have that privilege. Then you could just say, hey, in ChatGPT, put this file up. They don't have to do anything with the file. You can update the file however you want to update it, or whoever else is in charge of updating that file. But someone, you would just need to update the file within the GPT, and this information would be updated. So let's say, what else could I ask it? I guess again, you can see I don't have may not have the necessary files in here, the information in here, but let's just see what hours. Contact machine would be best. All right, so it gives us the website here, which is nice. So we can go right to it. And you can kind of see like whatever schedule. But all right, so let's now try how do I contact him? I think I put our contact information in there, but I may not have yet. I've kind of put this on the back burner so I could work on other stuff. Oh, and it doesn't show it. But let's look at what this is built up out of, though. Switch my account again. So I think I think we have 2 accounts going on here. And one of them's a plus. All right, let's try this. No. My GPTs. There we go. So this is the test area or the preview area. So anything as I'm doing, I can go ahead and see how it's built. But this is the important stuff, the configuration. So you name it. You can put whatever you want for an image. This is an AI generated image that as you build it, it'll offer it up. You put a description on it, and that's what shows here. And then you put the instructions. So this is the prompt, right? And this is the conversation starters here. So this prompt is very short. And again, this is my prototype, so I was kind of just pushing it through there. I've got to add on some detail to give it the right stuff. But you can add files as well. So you'll notice I don't have any schedules in this file list, but I can add a spreadsheet in here that has a schedule on it, and then have it reference that for that. So let's try that. Let's do it on the fly here. I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember. All right, so we'll just do Monday. Boop, 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 boop. And then we'll do 6 a.m. Can I drag that down? No, I cannot. And then we'll say, we'll say they close. This is not our actual schedule as I'm laying it out, but all right, and then we'll save that. Let's put our downloads. right, so now we have a file. We'll upload it. From the downloads folder, mock schedule. Okay, so we have put mock schedule in here. Let's look at our instructions and let's see if we can load those up a little bit. All right. You were Mandala son, martial arts GPT, representing the martial arts school located in Portland, Maine. Your role is to assist students, potential members, and enthusiasts by providing accurate and up-to-date information about the school. You have access to the following areas of knowledge stored in a SharePoint site, which is not accurate. What I'd like to do is connect this to a SharePoint site or find some connectivity. There are ways to do it. I haven't explored it at this point, but that's where I want to get to. If you are interested in that or know about that and want to explore that together, certainly let me know or show me how. I'll certainly carve out time to do that. So this would be, you're familiar with our class schedules, including special events and weekend programs. So we'll just add here, please reference the file mock schedule. All right, we'll see if this works. So we'll just, I don't need to save that. Paste that back in there. All right, should be updating here. And we can hit the preview. What is this week's class schedule? Let's find out. Ah, look at that. Beautiful. So here's the weekly class schedule right here. It went into the file and it said, all right, here's the thing. So I could go ahead and ask it a different question. So let's update this. So now that we know it has the class schedule in there, I'll update it and we can go back to the actual GPT. And view GPT. Ooh. All right, so now we're in it, and let's just say, when is class A? Nope, so it gives me the full schedule, and this isn't right. This isn't right, because if I look at the schedule, I can see Monday at 8, and it tells me Saturday at 10. Okay. But then it doesn't tell me the Monday at 11. Yeah, so it's missing a lot of them. But we can play with that and shape it as we need to. The point is, you can bring in files, for it to reference, you can work with those, and it's all about working the prompt and making sure it works. But again, if you can delegate, you can do that. I mean, obviously this takes more instruction for it to, in the prompt itself. And I could probably massage it from here to, like if I were to say, let's see, looks like you're missing a bunch of class times. You can see it says it appears there might be additional data. It says it's going to recheck. We'll see what happens. Oh, there we go. Yeah, great. So then it goes through and it updates. We don't need to verify whether it's right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Because really, we wouldn't want this to happen on the front end. Like the customer shouldn't have to say, "Are you sure?" I mean, you'd like to think of this as being, or my intention with this to build out something would be to be a true like front end, as opposed to what you see on websites now, like the little chat boxes that they are AI driven, but they're not well designed. They pretty much, a lot of them that I see, most of the automated ones don't give me the information I need, because I wouldn't be asking to chat with somebody if I could just look at their FAQ. So this would be something that would be more detailed. You can easily feed it information by taking images and PDF files and processes and whatever you wanted to do to throw it in there. So I've got chats in here. I haven't made a GPT for it with just curriculum type stuff. Like in my conversations with ChatGPT, brainstorming ideas, saying, "Hey, what if I did this, that, and the other? Build me out a process, and it'll give me an outline of what I need to do." And I can implement that, or I can store it, or if I'm racked for ideas on something, I can go back to it and say, "Oh yeah, this is my little plot to do this." So anyway, I think this has been a good enough presentation for you. Certainly reach out to me if you have a question on any of this, or want to brainstorm ideas on how to really leverage it for you, or if you've got ideas that you see here that you're like, "Oh yeah, you could be doing this because this is what I do," let me know. I like to learn. So yeah, bye.